Good morning po. I am Ali Manapat Salvador from Dingalan Aurora or Team Aurora, your reporter about draw commands and modify commands. Nearly every action you perform in AutoCAD is based on a command. You use commands to tell AutoCAD the actions you want it to perform, and AutoCAD responds with command prompts. So command prompts tell you the status of an action, or they give you options from which you must choose to complete a command. So you can use the following to start commands: the AutoCAD menus, shortcut menus, accelerator keys, toolbars, and command line. So here are the useful keyboard keys in AutoCAD. The F1, which is context-sensitive help, F2, which is for toggling the graphics windows and the text windows, F3 for turning or running object snaps on and off, F5 cycling through isometric planes, F6 cycling through coordinate display types, F7 toggling grid mode, F8 toggling ortho mode, F9 toggling snap mode, F10 toggling polar mode, and we have here the escape key, which is exit any command, and enter key, which is invoke the last used command. Regardless of how you start a command, the command prompts flow in the same way. AutoCAD either displays prompts on the command line or displays dialog box. The prompt format is current instruction or options and current value. The current instruction begins with one of four verbs. So the verb communicates the action you can perform as shown here. The four verbs are select, enter, specify, and digitize. So what is select? Select use the pointing device to select object, of course. Enter a value on the command line. Specify, select a point on the screen or enter a coordinate. Digitize, select a point on the digitizing tablet or the tablet command only. So command have options which are displayed with brackets. Under the AutoCAD drawing commands, we have here the basic geometry symbols, text commands, dimension commands, and hatch commands. Here are the draw commands for two-dimensional drawing in AutoCAD. So we have here the point, the keystroke of the point, the icon, the menu and the result, together with the system variables, and the point style dialog box. We have here also the keystroke, the icon, menu, and the result. Next is a ray. Ray creates a semi-infinite line, commonly used as construction line. A ray has a finite starting point and extends to infinity. Construction line. A construction line creates an infinite lines, which are commonly used as construction lines. And we have here the multi-line, which creates multiple parallel lines. So here are the commands and the draw menu. For the arc command, we have here the keystroke, arc, or A, or we can simply click the icon for the arc. Notes: you can create arcs in many ways. The default method is to specify 3 points, a start point, a second point on the arc, and an end point. By default, AutoCAD draws arcs counterclockwise. Circle command, we have here the keystroke circle or C, or simply click the icon for the circle. And we have here the menu, and of course the result is draws a circle based on a center point and radius. Notes: you can create circles in several ways. The default method is to specify the center and the radius. For the command rectangle, there's also a keystroke, or we can simply click the icon for the rectangle. For the command ellipse, the keystroke is ellipse or EL, or we can simply click the icon for ellipse. And also for the command polygon, the keystroke is polygon or POL, or we can simply click the icon for polygon. So creates an equilateral closed polygon. For the sketch command, the command line is sketch. The result creates a series of freehand line segments. Drawing with the sketch command controls a screen-based pen with a pointing device. A sketch is useful for entering map outlines, signatures, or other freehand drawings. Sketch lines are not added to the drawing until they are recorded. For the spline command, the keystroke is spline or SPL, or we can simply click the icon for spline. The result creates a quadratic or cubic spline curve. Spline fits a smooth curve to a sequence of points within a specified tolerance. AutoCAD uses NURBS or non-uniform rational B-splines mathematics, which stores and defines a class of curve and surface data. For the command name donut, the command line is donut. Draw menu, donut. The result draws filled circles and rings. Draw commands also have fill command. Fill command controls the filling of multilines, traces, solids, all hatches, and wide polylines. Command line. Fill or fill for transparent hues. Options command, or from tool menu, displays the options dialog box in which you can set fill mode and other display settings. For the solid command, the command line is solid, and the icon for solid is we can find at the surfaces toolbar. The result creates solid filled polygons. Polyline command. The keystroke is P-line or PL, or we can simply click the icon for polyline. The result creates two-dimensional polylines. A polyline is connected sequence of line or arc segments created as a single object. A rectangle is an example of a polyline. Polylines have some unique qualities that make them very useful. They can have width, they can consist of arcs and lines, they can be edited, they can be joined together, and they can be exploded into individual segments. And now, let us identify the editing or modify commands in AutoCAD. The commands covered in this section are all concerned with editing and in some way manipulating existing graphics in a drawing. They fall into four major groupings: the deletion operations, transformations, editing and alteration, and administrative activities. For the command erase, the keystroke is erase or E, and we have here the icon. So yung icon ng erase ay para siyang pambura ng pencil. So the shortcut menu, select the objects to erase, right-click in the drawing area, and choose erase. The result is, of course, erases an object. And for the correcting mistakes, command line U reverses the effect of the previous command, and undo reverses the effect of multiple commands and provides control over the undo feature. This command is a more versatile version of the simplified U command. The redo reverses the effects of a single undo or U command. The different selecting objects in AutoCAD: using selection windows, using selection fences, selecting objects that are close together, customizing object selection, and filtering selection sets. There are two very different types of windows you can use. One is a crossing window, and the other is a box. There are ways to select objects, and here are few of the common ways. If you create the window from right to left, you make a crossing window. This means that any object that crosses the border of the window is added to the selection set. This is shown as a dotted line on the screen. If you create the window from left to right, you create a box. Using this method, you will only add the items that are completely within the box. This is shown as a solid line on the screen. There are ways to select objects, and here are few of the common ways. Last, by typing L when asked to select objects, AutoCAD will set the last object you created. Previews. By typing P when asked to select objects, AutoCAD will select the previous selection set. All. By typing all to select all object on layer. Fence. By typing F when asked to select objects. AutoCAD allows you to draw a series of lines called a fence to select objects. Crossing polygon. Typing CP when you are selecting objects give the ability to create a crossing polygon for object selection. This is similar to a crossing box, but you can pick points on the screen to create a polygon. And you can repeat AutoCAD commands using one of several methods. To repeat the last command, press Enter or Spacebar or right-click in the drawing area and choose Repeat. To repeat one of the last 6 commands, right-click in the command window or text window. From the shortcut menu, choose Recent Commands and then choose one of the 6 most recently used commands. To repeat the same command multiple times, at the command prompt, enter multiple. At the next prompt, enter the command you want to repeat. AutoCAD repeats this command until you press Escape. For the canceling command, you can cancel any command by pressing Escape, the standard key to cancel actions in Windows programs, and you can change the cancel key to Ctrl+C, which was used to cancel commands in previous AutoCAD releases. To change the cancel key, from the Tools menu, choose Options. In the Options dialog box, choose the User Preferences tab. And under Windows Standard Behavior, clear Windows Standard Accelerator keys. For the text command, text or dtext creates one or more lines of text and end each line when you press Enter. Each text line is a separate object that you can relocate, reformat, or otherwise modify. MText, multi-line text editor, creates paragraphs that fit within a non-printing text boundary. You create the text boundary to define the width of the paragraph. You can also specify the justification, style, height, rotation, width, color, spacing, and other text attributes using MText. Each MText object is a single object regardless of the number of lines it contains. So, ito po yun. So, the command spell checks the spelling in a drawing. So, Tools menu, spelling, command line, spell or spell for transparent use. Basic utility commands in two-dimensional drawing are redraw, save, and quit. Redraw. This command forces AutoCAD to redisplay the graphics on the screen. This has the effect of clearing away some extraneous graphics such as marker blips that are left behind by pointing operations. Next is save. Save causes all editing changes to the current drawing to be saved to the disk file. Should be done regularly during a long drawing session. Next is end. End terminates the drawing editor, saves the current drawing to a disk file, and returns to the main AutoCAD menu. Last but definitely not the least is quit. Quit terminates the drawing editor without saving the changes made to the current drawing, returns to the main AutoCAD menu. That is my report. Once again, good morning and thank you for listening.